Before we start, let it be known that we actually really enjoyed their Sherlock finale episode, The Final Problem. It was an exhilarating 90 minutes of television that gripped us from start to finish and provided a potentially brilliant conclusion, should it never return. Having said that, though, as Uber nerds with far too much time on our hands, we can't help but notice a few glaring unanswered questions, plot holes and generally confusing moments that the dickish realism part of our brains can't help but bring up. Like that one kid in the class who won't stop putting their hand up. So here's a bunch of such questions that we need to bring up, even though we know they won't get answered. And yes, we know we're being pedantic with several of them. Spoilers, obviously. 1. How did Iris get herself, Sherlock and John from Sherronford to Musgrave Hall, lock Mycroft in a cell and chain John up in a well? Did she have cronies? If so, what happened to them? 2. How did Iris do the little girl on the plane's voice so convincingly? Did she get acting classes while locked away? 3. Would Sherlock really have fallen for the fake glass trick, even if his mind was rather distracted at the time? How did he not notice his hands weren't touching glass? 4. Alright, so we didn't believe for a second that Iris had really shot John dead, but all the same, her shooting him with a tranquilizer makes zero sense. You could argue that her scary sign-off, "He's making a funny face, I think I'll put a hole in it," was just intended to scare him. But given that one of her objectives was to kill Watson anyway, why not shoot him when she had the chance? 5. When did Moriarty find time to record all those video messages? It couldn't have been during those unsupervised 5 minutes. Did he leave, record them and send them to Iris, who then incorporated them into Sherronford's computer system? And wouldn't he have wanted a bigger involvement than recording a few voiceovers? He was the megalomaniac Napoleon of crime. 6. How did Sherlock get into the holding cell when Art Malik's prison governor turned up to interrogate Watson and the trawlerman who turned out to be Mycroft? Just luck? 7. Was Sherlock also just lucky when he found Iris in her old bedroom? If he had come in at any other time, she probably would have shot him instantly. Or was she always in that trance-like state whenever she was pretending to be the little girl? 8. How did Sherlock know the prison governor would give him a swipe card in the holding cell and send him off when he turned up anyway? That's a lot of trust placed in a generic bloke that you clearly don't know very well, whether you've been brainwashed by Iris or not. And what were the odds of Malik giving him the card before he rumbled Mycroft's disguise? 9. How is anyone able to be as manipulative as Iris without magical powers? She should be going up against the Avengers, not her brothers. 10. Sherlock's mind is so powerful he can literally predict the future while off his head on smack, see episode 2. Yet, he can't remember a childhood trauma? 11. How did Mary know to send John and Sherlock a second PS DVD and exactly when to do it? Why not just include her Baker Street Boys speech on his first DVD? For that matter, who burns video to DVD anymore? Surely she knows that it's best to store data on a USB, like her secret past? Plus, nowadays it's surprisingly hard to make a DVD video that instantly plays on a DVD player without it just being a data disk with a file on it. This is like all that camera phone business in Series 2. 12. What happened to the note from John to Sherlock that Molly gave him? Why bother showing that if we don't get to see what it said? 13. Why did Iris bother flirting with John on the bus? Pretending to be his therapist made sense as she was gaining information about Sherlock, and pretending to be Culvert and Smith's daughter was purely to mess with him. But why pretend to be Elizabeth? It served no purpose, and John didn't even tell anyone that he had a text fling with Iris at any point. Was it just to get his phone number? 14. Did Iris carve all those wrong numbers on the gravestones then, to make her song fit the numbering? 15. It seems like her S uses the Jacob-Lost teleportation technique when getting on and off Sherlock Island so easily. 16. How did Sherlock, John and Mycroft get to Sherlock so quickly and without any injuries? Even Mycroft's government buddy was concerned about him when speaking to the prison governor. 17. Why did they introduce the new cop Lady D.I. Hopkins in episode 1? She came out of nowhere and then went nowhere. Was she just a red herring to get off the Moriarty scent? 18. Was Urus controlling the drone all the way from Sherlock? And is that where it came from? That's quite a powerful signal. And lucky it didn't fall off between points A and B. Right. That's enough snarky nonsense from us, but one more question. When's Series 5 coming, then?